Yeah,
or without a drink.
to reiterate the point that he was saying about
Yeah.
functional alcoholism.
Yeah.
I remember me and you discussed something similar,
Yeah.
like with different drugs.
Yeah.
So the way I think about it is that spiritually speaking,
Mhm.
um, we can say your consciousness is attached to your body.
Yeah.
And when your consciousness is released
Mhm.
from your body,
Mhm.
it joins the wider
Mhm.
group, the universal consciousness, which is all of us.
Yeah.
And then at that point, that universal consciousness is actually at a state of peace,
Mhm.
which is ecstasy. The,
Ecstasy.
the old guys back in ancient times,
Mhm.
those of Buddha, they talked about this seeking nirvana.
Seeking what?
That nirvana, that
Okay.
peace
Mhm.
they call in heaven,
Mhm.
is they when you release, when your body is released, when
Mhm.
your spirit or consciousness, whatever, is released from that body,
Mhm.
you get that sort of peace, which is blissful,
Mhm.
eternally blissful.
Oh.
Now, some drugs
Mhm.
tend to accomplish that mission, but
Mhm.
only for brief seconds. You have a small taste of that bliss.
Mhm.
So alcohol is one of them. It will give you that
Mhm.
small bliss.
Mhm.
And the same with other drugs like LSD,
Mhm.
like mushrooms,
Okay.
like in all other herbs. Even our ancestors would
Yeah.
sometimes sit down and
Mhm.
partake maybe in mushrooms or
Yeah.
some other drugs,
Yeah.
and they would seem to be calling or talking to other gods.
Other gods. Mhm.
But in my opinion, it is simply releasing that bond
Yeah.
from your body
Mhm.
slightly. So you have a taste, a small taste of that
Yeah.
bliss,
Yeah.
and then you're back.
And then you're back here.
So you feel that high,
Yeah.
that slight high,
Right.
then you're back.
Yeah.
So that's how it hooks you up, though.
That's how it hooks
If
you up
you associate bliss
with.
with the alcohol, the drug,
Yeah.
then you become a slave to it.
Yeah.
You're seeking every time you would want to seek
Mhm.
that product or that
Mhm.
drug,
Mhm.
continue getting the bliss.
Mhm.
That's how I think about it, though. Functional, you know.
Apparently, some Russians used to give these little kids some vodka to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russians are well known for,
Giving kids some vodka to go to sleep.
Yeah,
wow.
it's Russian stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know how they got away with that. Is that even
Uh,
legal?
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
When there was a time I was I got the chance
Yeah.
to fly.
Yeah.
This was a flight chartered by the UN.
Yeah.
And because I knew somebody working in the field at the time
Yeah.
in South Sudan, a
Yeah.
place called in Lair. Lair is like a Nuer area.
Yeah.
And then Rumbek, they used to have a base. The UN
Mhm.
have a base there as well.
Mhm.
I got the chance to travel
Yeah.
on the chartered UN plane. It was like a, um, a cargo plane.
Mhm.
And then I noticed that the pilots were Russians
Ah.
and they were drinking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
was like normal to them.
Then it's just like normal to them. Wow.
Yeah,
Is it
and
a little
so
bit?
yeah, it was normal. It was like nothing. It was
They
just
did it.
right there.
They
Just
did. They did their job.
they were flying us well, but
But
coming back,
yeah.
there was some turbulence
Yeah.
in the air
Yeah.
when we were just around Lokichogyo,
Yeah.
border between Kenya in South Sudan,
Yeah.
and very bad turbulence.
Yeah.
And I was the only passenger in the plane.
Yeah.
And
What?
it's a
You are,
cargo plane.
oh, you are
The
the,
only person?
you was the only passenger because there's a cargo plane.
It's a cargo plane.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the cargo planes don't get passengers, but
Yeah.
I got the chance to go
Yeah.
back on the cargo plane.
Oh.
So when we're going back, very heavy turbulence.
Yeah.
And I'm there and I'm thinking there are two Russians drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm praying my last prayers.
You're making your last prayers.
And the last prayers was I said, well, God, if you're gonna take me, at least look at me, man. I have no kid, not even one kid.
Not even one kid. Yeah.
At that point,
Yeah.
turbulence stopped.
Wow.
When we landed, I
Yeah.
just got out of the plane, said thank you to the Russians, and we walked out.
You walked out.
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry to put you on that tangent, but that reminded me.
Can you believe? Can you believe that that is functional? But we obviously don't want to be encouraging people to be doing that. Obviously.
No.
No.
Can you believe just what happened, man? Yeah. So Deng was one of the smartest students, by the way, for an A student, innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like then you're saying that you led Lodwar boys from 4, right?
Yeah, I went to Lodwar Boys in 2000, and yeah, I led the whole like we had three form fours. There was East, Central, and West.
Yeah.
And yeah, I led the whole bunch
Yeah.
all the way to Form 4.
All the way from 4.
And that's when the school decided to change their culture.
Yeah.
Where they never used to give index 1 to a foreigner.
Yeah.
So the headmaster summoned the rest of the teachers and some parents, and he was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
This thing has to change. It would be so unfair to see somebody lead the whole school for 4 years, only to be denied
index 1.
Index 1 because it's a South Sudanese.
Wow.
You know, and the whole group, teachers and parents, they were like, no problem, give it to him.
Yeah.
So that's how I became index 1, and at the same time, I became the first foreigner to get an A- at the at the Lodwar Boys High School.
Lodwar Boys High School.
Yeah.
So you are the top student in the KCSE, obviously, right?
Yeah. And actually led the district 2 in English with a B+.
And he led the district in English.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
But then, so yeah, when I came to Canada.
So when you came to Canada, that's when things went.
When people are farming.
Mm-hmm.
When people are farming, they would come with, women would come with a lot of alcohol.
A lot of alcohol. Yeah.
And then do their farming all day, drinking.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
You know, when they're doing their meetings, whatever the elders were doing, the alcohol was always involved. I've lived with my father until when he passed away after I left. And he has drank his whole life, you know. So alcohol is, you know what, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if you are a very smart user of alcohol.
It can be controlled.
Yeah, but once you let it control your life, that's it. You know, I always look at it this way. Every human being out there, there is this teaching. I'm not very religious, but this teaching from religion that your body is the temple of God.
Mm-hmm.
If I steal it and say, okay, whatever, I'm going to remove God there, and say I'm going to treat my body as my own temple.
Yeah.
Where I go there and play my soccer game, play my chess, you know, sing my music. That's my body. Where there is peace and happiness, there's joy, there's everything. Then what will come into my mind is, if I want to treat it as a place of joy, a place of happiness, a place of you know, intelligent ideas, a place of everything good that I want in the world. Yeah. Then I will not allow anything to destroy that temple, or anything to bring these disturbances, or to come and mess up my inner peace.
Yeah.
I would never allow it. And that means things like alcohol, you don't need them. Because that will disturb the peace within you.
Mhm.
All these drugs and everything.
Mhm.
No. Even human beings.
Mhm.
Only surround yourself with people that add to your strength.
Right.
If somebody comes into your life and it's a bother,
Mhm.
please always eliminate them.
Eliminate. Okay.
You only live once
Mhm.
in life. You will never live twice.
Mhm.
And so all you need to do is just maximize that happiness.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, alcohol can try and maximize your happiness to a certain level, but in all honesty, it is destroying you inside, and it is going to hook you up, and that's it. You will be consumed, and you will lose your professional focus.
Mhm.
You lose your jobs. People lose relationships.
Yeah.
People lose their lives. You know. So yeah, people should treat their bodies if they love themselves.
Mhm.
I'm a big lover of self-loving right now.
Oh yeah.
You know, anything that gives you peace,
Mhm.
please maximize it. Anything that brings distractions.
Yeah.
No,
You play soccer. You play soccer. Is that a good diversion for you?
soccer is awesome, beautiful.
Yeah. You watched the Africa Cup of Nations. How did you like that?
Personally, I in my mind, I always read soccer,
Mhm.
and the European soccer is way, way, way up there.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Mhm.
African soccer
Yeah.
is catching up really fast. You know why?
Mhm.
Because most of the players that play in Europe actually
Mhm.
are Africans, and so the level of performance within different countries
Mhm.
is surprisingly beautiful. Or
Mm.
actually, not surprisingly beautiful because the players are playing in Europe.
Playing in Europe.
So
Yeah.
they come back and apply, whatever
Yeah.
uh,
Skills.
craft or skill that they get in Europe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was, even the last Africa Cup of Nations,
Mhm.
I was so impressed by uh, Cape Verde.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
They,
like,
they
these
put
guys,
they put on a
if
good
people are
show.
not, sorry,
They put on a good show.
yeah, wow, wow, and I was like, this country is so full of monsters, man.
Mhm.
Most of the goals that they scored
Mhm.
were kicks from really, really far.
Mhm.
And the ball would just swerve and swerve, and the goalkeeper is confused.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so African soccer is coming up really,
It's
really good.
coming up really good. So
Yeah.
soccer is a good diversion.
I used to go with Europe, and then go South America,
Yeah.
and then Asian,
Mhm.
and then the North America comes,
Yeah.
and then Africa last.
Ah,
Yeah,
we were
but no, not anymore. Africa is way, way, way up there. In fact, they should be the fourth, in my opinion.
right.
Yeah.
We were talking about Asians and drinking. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. Earlier on, we were talking with Manuel about uh, the fact that some people genetically, let me say, unsuitable for alcohol. So, for example, they had this. There was a study that I came across that was talking about the fact that about 36% of the East Asian population, that we're talking Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans,
Yeah.
they lack certain enzyme.
Right.
Genetically they like, so that enzyme apparently is responsible for breaking down alcohol or something like that. So when they drink it, they
Mhm.
experience alcohol flash. So it's
Mhm.
like the face turns pink when the moment they drink one or two beers. And I did notice this in some of my a friend in uni. I noticed when he took two beers,
Yeah.
his face turned pink. Well,
Right.
mine was still okay.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what was happening, and he was already functionally weak
Wow.
at the third beer. Third by the fourth, he was already done by the fourth beer, and had to carry him to the dorm room. But that tells me that so many years later, I found out, yeah, there's a certain gene. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's a certain gene that they lack, or a certain percent of that
Mm.
East Asian population.
You like that gene.
So that
Enzyme.
yeah, it's an enzyme. It's AHD or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a particular enzyme, apparently. So that led me to question. I'm like, could it be even possible that some of our people
Mhm.
have a lack of such, genetic lack,
Yeah.
of such an enzyme,
Mhm.
that is leading them. Let's say if they drink just a little bit,
Mhm.
it really they really go through a tough time,
Yeah.
you know. And maybe some other people have a much higher tolerance, like it's
Exactly.
considered those guys that are maybe tall
Yeah.
with a very big body tend to absorb more of those effects, but that
So.
doesn't mean that it's good.
Mhm.
You know, it doesn't mean it is good at all. It just means that as you can only absorb up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
Beyond,
Yeah.
beyond a certain level,
Yeah.
and you can't function.
Our community, the African community, is it too impacted by this alcoholism?
According to the study, no.
It's not too
It's just
negative.
something that's common to East Asian. Only a small 36%, that's what they said, of the East Asian population.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I
Was-
thought was interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was referring to Africans that came here to Canada.
Or the ones that came here, are they
Yeah.
affected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering whether Amicho met a lot of them out there.
Oh, wow. And lots of people drink alcohol, man. I've lived with so many of them starting in Windsor, Ontario,
Yeah.
in Edmonton,
Edmund.
and in Calgary. Yeah,
Calgary, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of the African community. Yeah.
Quite a lot do that. I've seen, it's been many times I found myself
Mhm.
snatching away the keys of the car
Yeah.
from someone
Mhm.
because they were totally done
Mm.
and they were going to drive.
Yeah.
And that's in the African community.
Yeah.
And
That's
some
big.
of them do sometimes drink and they drive too.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
The one that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was kind of wondering, um, like the tragic event that happened to you that gave you a wake up call, which you earlier mentioned, got you sent to the hospital for surgery. Would you mind taking us to that day or sequence of events that happened that led you to that tragic day and how?
uh,
Yeah.
well, I later, I found out at the end at the hospital. But
Mhm.
let me start by saying, I did really have a good time for, I'm pretty sure, about a month of too much drinking.
Mhm.
And in most cases, people drink and people end up not even eating properly.
Yeah.
And if and they always say you are what you eat.
Mhm.
You know, and in and I also think you are also what you don't eat.
Mhm.
If you eat healthy,
Yeah.
then you are a healthy body for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Mhm.
the opposite is true.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I went for almost a month
Mhm.
of heavy drinking and eating very very little.
Very little.
So that can bring things like strokes or seizures.
Yeah.
Because your heart, your
Mhm.
brain,
Mhm.
you know, your heartbeats are controlled by electrical impulses,
Yeah.
and that involves those essential elements like the sodium, the potassium, the calcium, the magnesium.
Mhm.
They have to be in your body for your heart to function properly and your brain to probe properly.
Right.
And if you don't eat, you don't get those stuff.
Mhm.
And if you don't have them, then you are likely to have short circuiting either in your heart or in your brain.
Mhm.
And if that happens, then you are likely to have a stroke or a seizure.
Mhm.
So after going for that long duration of time without proper feeding
Mhm.
and only drinking heavily,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, I ended up having a seizure. I remember I was playing a game of chess with a bunch of friends,
Mhm.
and I excused myself. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go use the washroom really quickly. I'll be back.
Mhm.
Coming, I never came back. I woke up in the hospital 3 days later.
Wow. You just didn't know what happened.
No,
Wow.
but yeah,
That's when you had.
what happened was
That's when you had the
I
seizure.
had sorry.
You had a seizure.
Yeah, I later learned that I had a seizure, and seizure, of course, is not gonna make you, it's gonna make you fall down, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I struggled to stay on my feet,
Yeah.
but I ended up, falling down
Mhm.
onto the floor, crashing onto the concrete wall head first. I cracked my skull, and the rest is history from there. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital, and I didn't even know I had a brain surgery. Because I was talking to one of my friends here who came to visit me,
Mhm.
and when I was talking to him, I was like, "Why did I come to the hospital?"
Yeah.
And then something was itchy on my head. I wanted to scratch. He said, "Hey, don't scratch that."
Mhm.
Like, why? Like you had a brain surgery. Those are stitches and stuff.
Wow.
I was like, "What?
Mhm.
Brain what?
Brain surgery.
Like brain surgery?"
Mhm.
And so yeah, that's when everything was narrated to me. What happened?
Wow.
You know. Yeah, and then they were like, "Man, even the doctor said you are gonna live for only 7 days maximum."
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. But yeah, after 3 days, was the reason why I was given 7 days was my breathing. It was coming on and off, on and off, on and off, and the doctor feared that if that were to continue, then I would be brain dead by 7th day. And luckily enough for me, my breathing stabilized on the 3rd day, and I started breathing normally. The doctor called home and he's like, "Yeah, you guys are lucky. Deng is breathing normally,
Mhm.
and it should be fine."
Wow.
So yeah, I could not be released from the hospital. I could not be discharged because they fear that I might have more seizures coming,
Awesome.
or that or I might end up falling down and
Mhm.
injure my brain. And if I do that again, I will be dead. So I had to stay in the hospital for nearly a year. Yeah, actually a year. Yeah.
Wow. Nearly a year in the hospital.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? In
Oh,
hospital?
that's a lot. By the way, I was wondering, what sort of support mechanism did you have? Did you have you know, a good, let's say, community around you that were supportive, or did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good one too. But I don't know, because the people that I was living with,
Mhm.
all of them were like they were drinking, you know.
Right.
So even if you wake up in the morning and say, today I'm gonna try really hard not to drink,
Yeah.
even before you finish that statement, lots of beers already on the table,
Somebody will bring it.
and then you're like, screw this, I'm back to it.
Um,
So yeah, the environment was not conducive for someone to stay sober, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Was
but
it like,
I always wanted to go for rehab so that I can get some proper uh, detox.
Yeah.
You know, but
Or
I never had the chance.
you didn't get a chance for detox. You just
Yeah,
stopped. You just stopped it. What they call cold turkey.
no, I wanted detoxification just to stay without alcohol for good.
Okay.
So when I went to the hospital,
Mhm.
it gave me a chance to clean everything up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when I came back, I was like, I don't want to go back to drinking again, because I know how I used to feel the morning
Okay.
after waking up with hangovers and all that.
Yeah.
You know, the feeling is horrible,
Yes.
and the only way someone would actually feel better
Yeah.
was to go back and drink even more.
To drink even more. Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, because if you have hangovers, you cannot talk to people. You feel horrible inside.
Yeah.
You know, you give me a phone call, even however important that call is,
Mhm.
you like, I don't really care.
You don't want
You cannot concentrate.
Yeah.
But then when you drink,
Yeah.
that's when you feel like, okay, now I can talk to people and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's not good, man.
Right. So what
It's
can
not good.
yeah,
So the community, I would
what,
say that there were people that used to tell me, dang man, you imagine all that education, you just thrown it away. You know? If somebody tells me that, then it throws me into depression.
yeah.
So I would go and drink even more. I'm
You go
like,
and drink even more.
yeah, it's not good.
yeah. Well, what kind of, I'm just wondering if you lost the same type of friends who you were drinking with when you began to quit cold turkey. Did you lose those same friends and gain new friends?
Like right now,
Yes.
You lose friends.
yeah, most of my friends that I used to drink with, because I moved from Edmonton, so I left a bunch of them there. You know, Malo is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when I came to Calgary, I met a few more.
Mm.
So those that I've known for a long time. But yeah, when I had that injury, I was like, actually, it's not me. There's my niece.
Mhm.
She was like, yeah, you're not going back to that place. You're coming to stay with us. So I decided to come and stay with my niece.
Yeah.
And here there is no drinking.
Yeah.
They are God fearing people.
Yeah.
Although I don't belong in that category, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a good environment. There's no alcohol. There's nothing.
Mhm.
I can drink if I want to,
Mhm.
but I'm like, no. Now that my body is clean
Clean. Yeah.
and I wake up every morning and I feel good,
You feel good. Yeah.
I can actually sit down and have a conversation with someone
Mhm.
without the influence of alcohol.
Yeah.
I can actually read a book. I can actually go for a walk. You know, that feeling, I don't want to throw it away again. And I've established my relationship again with my relatives back home.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I've sponsored my nephew.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's doing his KCSE.
That's amazing.
He did his KCSE last year, but Kakuma, they never mark the exams properly these days.
Yeah, they don't.
So mean come to Kakuma, I took him to down Kenya.
Mhm.
So he's going to repeat there, and he's going to do his KCSE in November.
Okay.
So yeah, having to reestablish your relationship with your people is pretty good.
That's
You
good,
know,
man. That's amazing.
have something to live for, to be honest.
Yeah, something to live.
Yeah, my drinking got really worse after losing my mom and my dad. I just felt like there was nothing to live
Sorry
for.
about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I just felt like there was nothing to live for, you know. Um, I just looked at myself. I didn't see any past. I didn't see any future. And I was like, you know what? Let me just finish myself. I don't really care. So
Yeah.
most of the drinking sometimes were just suicidal, to be honest.
Right, that's
I
what it
But
see.
then,
is.
but then
So
after
is
the accident
ma-
and see the amount of love that you get from people,
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I am so blessed.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
um, people don't usually praise themselves, but I don't really care.
Mhm.
I know my own records. I know they always say the weight of the head is only felt by the owner.
Yeah.
So it's me. If I look at myself, I
Mhm.
know my strength and I know my weaknesses.
Right.
I swear, when it comes to academic, I would say 100%. I was very, very gifted.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure. What you tell
but
me.
yeah, I still think that nothing has gone away.
Mhm.
It's just the time that I've wasted for sure.
Yeah, it's the time.
But
Yeah.
yeah, if I have something to share with those people that are coming behind me,
Mhm.
I'm very, very willing to share with them.
Yeah, those work
And that
students.
and actually, one of the things I will underline in our conversation here
Yeah.
is going to be time, and I will spell it in capital letters.
Yeah.
Time.
You're right.
Time is everything.
Mm.
yes.
Yeah. And
All
if you know time is everything,
Yeah.
please treat it with utmost care.
Atmosphere.
Yeah. Don't waste even a bit of it.
Yes, true.
Education in this country is the easiest. Education in Canada,
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
Even professors themselves, if you attend class every day,
Yeah.
during the examination, if there's a very difficult question, yenye anajua kabisa, I'm going to ask these students this question.
Yeah.
He probably might write you an email and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Try and read a lot on this topic.
On this topic. Yeah.
Especially this system, if it's biology, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say the cardiac system.
Mhm.
Make sure you focus a lot on your heart.
Yeah. Right.
The cardiac muscles,
Mhm.
or whatever system is going to give you. It's going to narrow down your reading.
Yeah.
Just to a particular point.
To a particular
Just
point.
because you go to class every day.
Yeah.
Mwalimu atalii kabisa.
Mhm.
Lakini kama ukuji, if you go back and say, Mwalimu, you didn't mark this properly, it's like, let me see.
And you are telling me that you wish somebody told you when you arrived, you wished somebody told you what drinking can do to you and that alcohol will always be there.
Yeah, no, it's the thing is I look back in retrospect.
Mhm.
And come to a conclusion that, you know what, all these things I told you about my high school teacher.
Yeah, high school teacher. You
My
can
high school, yeah.
tell us that story. What happened?
No, I used to sneak to go and watch soccer when I was in Form 4.
Mhm.
But I never did it that much. But I did it anyway, I think for a month or so. And during that month we sat for district mock.
Mhm.
And one of the students got a B minus,
Mhm.
and I got a C plus.
Mhm.
In our school, when it comes to district mocks, they usually don't mark them properly.
They don't.
They always fail people so that you work hard. That was the intention.
The intention, yeah.
So I got a C plus and somebody got a B minus.
Yeah.
And then the headmaster was like, okay, you know what? He sent a student, go call me Deng.
Mhm.
So somebody came like, Deng, yeah, the headmaster wants you.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? Okay. So I went to his office. He was busy marking or reading something. I don't know. He was doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Somebody has picked it. Yeah. So I went to his office. He never talked to me for like half an hour.
Mhm.
And then after that, he looked up
Yeah.
and he's like, "Dang, can you tell me 3 reasons as to why you got a C plus?"
Mhm.
So I tried to make up some stuff. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Started. He just smiled and is like, "You know what? You're becoming a bad influence
Mhm.
to the rest of the students
Mhm.
because everyone in this school is looking up to you.
Mhm.
Lakini ukianza kuperform hivi,
Yeah.
unafikiria wanafunzi wengine watafikiria nini?
And you are index 1 at that time.
You are our leading student.
Yeah.
Alafu unakuja lakini mzee unajua it's somebody that is very observant,
Mhm.
Akaniambia, "We toka hapa hivi, enda kwa darasa."
Mhm.
And akasema, "I will monitor you for the next 3 months."
Mhm.
Sasa kufika kwa darasa nikaanza kusema na huyu mzee,
Mhm.
what is it with me?
Mhm.
I've seen students here getting B pluses in the mocks,
Mocks, yeah.
but when it comes to national exams, they get their B's and their B pluses
Yeah.
because no Sudanese got an A anyway in our school before me.
Before you. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, well, wachana mimi,
Mhm.
But then one day I was going to the dining hall,
Yeah.
to dining hall for lunch,
Yeah.
and he was standing, in front of the dining hall, and he saw me. He's like, "Dang, come here."
Mhm.
So I went there, and he was like, "How are you doing?" I'm good. Like, now, Dang, can you tell me what it is that will prevent you from getting an A in this school?
Mhm.
That question was interesting. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
interesting question.
mzee anakaa mtu mzuri yani.
They believed in you.
Nikamwambia CRE.
Mm.
Mpaka akasmile. CRE. Kwa nini? I'm like, you know what? I just don't fancy the course. I don't like it.
Mhm.
I find it boring. The teacher, I used to like it when I was in Form 1 because we had a very like a dramatist.
Mhm.
A teacher that was so dramatic in his way, in his approach.
Yeah.
He would dramatize every scene.
Mhm.
It was so fun.
Mhm.
So that if they ask a question in the exam, that scene when he was just dramatizing everything,
Mhm.
it all comes back into your memory, and you would just write everything so easy. But then when we went to Form 3, that teacher, they switched the teacher and they gave us some boring madam.
Mhm.
So yeah, I lost interest, and CRE was not actually. It was made compulsory during our year.
Mhm.
So I came from Form 1, Form 3, with my mind far away from CRE because I knew I was not gonna do it in Form 4.
Mhm.
But then they came and they made it compulsory.
Yeah.
So the headmaster was like, "Don't worry, Deng. CRE is not that hard.
Mhm.
There are lots of past papers. Go out there and do a lot of them. Bring them to the office.
Mhm.
Give them to." He mentioned a few teachers there
Mhm.
that can mark them for me.
Mhm.
And he's like, "You can even bring some to me. I'll mark them."
Nice.
I'm like, okay. So when I went back to class, I was like, "Man, can you see what the headmaster just did?
Mhm.
That guy called you and asked you what would stop you from getting an A in this school."
Yeah.
So, I had to change my mind. I thought this guy probably hates me or something.
Mm.
I'm like, this is somebody that loves you.
Yeah.
So I went into my drawer and I got out a diary. And this is what I wrote. I wrote, "Amicho,
Mhm.
please, there is a lot of soccer out there.
Mhm.
You will watch until you will be tired.
Yeah.
But for now, you have a Form 4 to complete."
Okay.
History ya soccer hii,
Soccer was your distraction, no?
and nikasema soccer, stop.
It become an addiction.
So I never went out again to watch soccer.
Wow.
I would just come and hear the results from those sneakers when they come back.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, Arsenal lost or they won or whatever." Like, I don't really care. And when I got my A minus,
Mhm.
I was like, man, I owe it all to the headmaster.
You're a smart student, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So So addiction of any kind is worse. It's not good.
That's your message.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very good to always um, study the trend
Okay.
of the things that you do. If they begin to control your life in a particular way,
Mhm.
please stop before they get deeper,
Okay. Okay.
kwa sababu maji yakimwagika sasa hayatazoleka tena.
So like, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
All right. So
In
that's you got
To
the message.
translate that in English for those who don't know, that's in Swahili.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
For those who do not know Swahili,
Mhm.
maji yakimwagika hayazoleki means that if the water pours onto the ground, out of that cup anyway, onto the ground, wherever they pour, you do not have any power, no matter who you are, to recollect all that water and put it back into the cup. It's all done.
Don't cry about
Brilliant
it.
saying.
So if a damage has already been done, sometimes it's almost impossible for you to fix it, especially if something grows deeper and deeper and deeper. To actually bring that thing out of that hole, to dig it out, is quite challenging. So don't let addictions grow deeper in your life. Discover them at the very early stage and stop them. You know,
Free yourself from
because
any kind of
because
control. Yeah.
sorry.
Free yourself.
Saying, yeah, free yourself from being a slave
Yeah,
to anything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Innocent?
Yeah, I think Deng has given us a very clear message. His story is really inspiring, you know, and I hope a lot of people would learn from what he has just said. You take control of your life. That's what I gather from it. Take control of your life. You live for today. You live in a moment.
Yeah.
If you've already done, if alcohol has already destroyed your life up to this point, do not give up on yourself. Go back, find that strength within yourself to love yourself again, to get yourself back out of that slavery. Back
I'll add
to
something small too.
yeah.
So yeah, I think one of the biggest theme as well that I would love people to embrace is to come to a realization that there's a lot of love out there. There is parental love. There is love that you can get from your friends, love from your spouses, love from your children, love from all everywhere. Just love from nature. You might go out there and walk, just out there, and then you come across something precious. You have no idea what planted it there. You know, there's love everywhere, but you know what? There is one and only one love that is very important in life, and that is love for oneself.
Nice.
Every other love out there is just extras. You can always be thankful, be appreciative, but the most important of them all is love for oneself.
Love for oneself.
Because that one you don't have to force anyone. You just have to force. You don't even need to force yourself. It has to come naturally to love yourself. There's that selfish gene in us. Kila mtu anajitakia. And it should be that way. We should always want everything for ourselves first. And if once we develop that mentality, then there will be no need for you to allow anything destructive into your anything to bring disturbances or destroy your peace, shake up your inner peace is not good. You know, So love yourself first. And once you do that, you will never you will never allow this stuff to go into your system. You know, you don't want to think bad. You want to think straight. You know, you want to always wake up feeling good, feeling strong. So you will always feed yourself properly. Um, you know, you will always feed your psyche with a lot of good information, not a lot of garbage. So love yourself first, and then you can always extend your love to everything else out there.
Fill your cup first.
And if you were to love something, please always try to do it in moderation. Don't do anything in excessive, for sure. Yeah.
So our podcast, this is about, we call it roaming roots. When we were looking about it, we found that, we found things to do with it has to do with where we come from, the people that we meet along the way. And then even though we are roaming around, we still have some roots somewhere. So do you have anything to say about your roots? Like, where do you feel like your roots are right now? Like, you moved around, you were born maybe in South Sudan, you lived in Kenya, grew up in Kenya, and now you became an adult, or you became a full-grown man in Canada. And where do you think your roots are right now?
Well, I think I still owe my roots back home in a place called Duk in South Sudan. That's where I was born. I was born into a royal family.
Okay.
My grandfather had 33 wives.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I am called Deng, named after my grandfather.
Okay.
His name was Deng Malwal.
Okay.
So yeah, so I have families all over the world. If you mention anywhere, the only place I might be I might be like, maybe there are no Sudanese. I mean, no people from my side there. Would be maybe China. I don't know. But
Hey,
almost
I believe
are
in
there.
China.
So I have my roots back there. And so I consider myself like somebody that was almost lost, but coming from a huge family, I don't feel like I'm lost. Absolutely not. So
Good.
all I have to do is just do a bit of self recollection and try and retrace my root, my roots. So they say there's this bird. What's the name of the bird? That always, even if it burns, it comes back into ashes. I mean, it comes back from the ashes. But anyway, I was just gonna say how good
The Phoenix.
you have not done anything wrong in life. We learn from our mistakes, and sometimes it's not good to be so hard on yourself too.
Right.
So love yourself, and if you love yourself so much, learn from your mistakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. So yeah, I'm retracing my roots, and I feel so blessed to have a huge family, and all of them are very supportive. Yeah.
So if people want to reach you, how are they going to reach you? Is there any contact information you want to give people if they want to reach you for your story or something? After listening to your story, somebody might want to reach out to you.
Yeah, you can. The best place to reach me easily right now is my Facebook. And my Facebook user's name is Amicho, Amicho, Amicho Deng. Deng is Deng. Amicho Deng. Yeah. If you just add me, send me a message, tell me who you are, and I will always be responsive to your messages.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. That was quite enlightening. And I like the reference to the bird you spoke of, the phoenix.
Oh, the phoenix! Oh my goodness! Thank you very much.
As rising from the
Yeah, the
ashes,
phoenix. Yeah.
that's a sign of rebirth. There was some death, but there's rebirth, and there's that light we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So, all the best in your journey, man. And
Thank you very much.
we're
Thank you
all
very much.
here.
Well,
If you need a hand, we're here. So
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
yeah,
Thank
this is gonna be like a community of friends, like a community that we develop a following, and then we can support each other.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. That sounds really good.
Innocent.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you guys have yourself a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. It's a
yeah,
weekend.
you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, for all the viewers, we appreciate.
We appreciate it.
If you like the content we have, subscribe. And
Subscribe, leave a comment.
yes,
Yeah, let's go out there and try to, have some love for, for our own selves.
Themselves, yeah.
And then we can extend that one out and we can help our brothers and sisters out there. Let them learn a thing or two from us. And I'm pretty sure if they stick to a little piece of advice that we give them, they would never walk through the path that some of us have walked.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are there to guide anyone that is willing to be guided for sure.
Yeah.
We never had the chance to be guided before.
No.
But some 18 years ago,
Mhm.
everyone was on their own. So
Yeah.
but people coming from behind are so lucky because we are here.
Yeah.
And we are here to be their mouthpiece,
About this, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One love.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks so much, Amicho.
All right.
you.
Have yourself a good time, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers. Bye.